Welcome back to Steve Rob Reviews. Today the review is about this lawnmower. I'm not going to show you this lawnmower cutting grass, any of that kind of stuff, because you know what? It's December. And how many people cut the grass in December? Well, not up here in Canada. What I am going to do is I'm going to take this out of the box and I'm going to review some things about, well, what kind of lawnmower should you get? And what's the best time of year to buy a lawnmower? And when you're looking at lawnmowers today, there's some features that are just, I think, well, ludicrous. And we're going to get into one of them in the future real soon here. And let's get started right here. I'm going to take this lawnmower out of the box and I'm going to go over the reasons why I bought this Toro lawnmower and why I'm reviewing it in the winter. Well, there you go right there. There's the mower. It took me 10 minutes to assemble it. Very easy to do. And the features that I wanted was just self-propelled. But this particular one come with the front wheel drive and the rear wheel drive, thus the all-wheel drive. Came with a Briggs & Stratton engine. Now, I like Briggs & Stratton. I like Kohler. I like Honda. I like all brand names. I'm not a big fan of offshore, no-name engines. And come with a side discharge chute, or you can just close this and it'll mulch. And it come with a terrific feature back here, and I'll show you that. You just pull that lever up or down and you can either mulch or bag, or, well, I don't know if there's a third one, because you can either mulch or bag or side discharge. So instead of it going into the bagger, there's a flapper back there. I'll show you that. You just close that, stops anything from going into the bagger, and you can either mulch or side discharge. And it comes with a decent fuel tank on it. And this particular model here says that it's guaranteed to start in the first couple of pulls, or 3 pulls or whatever, for 3 years. And I'm not too sure about that, but this is the guaranteed to start deal here. And then we move on to this here. I'll tell you something. I've had mowers, including my MTD Gold lawn tractor that has this clean out port where you're supposed to put water in here, run it with the water in here, and it's supposed to clean the deck. Well, I've never had no success with that. You guys let me know if you have, because I won't be using this. So I flipped this over, and there's nowhere on the bottom where you could actually change the oil. So this is where you put your fuel in here, and this is where you put your oil in here, or you check it. So now this particular model here just has a handle, and I'll just show you here. It's nothing fancy. I mean, you just press down on the handle, and it's personal pace, which means as you press this, it puts tension on the belts, and it's self-propelled. And this gives a little bit of a grab bar here, so you can actually, you know, just have it wide open, I guess. And of course you have to close this here before anything actually happens. This is their safety, so it'll stop the engine if it goes up here like this, right? And of course this is where your pull start is. So let's get down to the back end here, because I thought this was really ingenious, because I use my bagger a lot, and I'll show you the idea behind this lever down here, the little blue lever that actually makes this work. Okay, to take the bagger off, it's very simple to give you with a nice little handle. And you know what? This is so much easier for this bagger to go on than my last model. My last model, I had a couple of hooks on either side you had to line up. This one here goes on much easier. So, as you can take a look there, you see that there's a chute in here. And you got this little blue handle there. That opens the chute, closes the chute. And I think that is just a terrific option. So you can use it like this, or leave the bagger on all year long, whatever you prefer. Well, let's get down to the end of the box here, and this is where all the important information starts. Of course, that's the model right there. And 3-year guaranteed to start, 2-year full warranty. And if you read these, you know, these instructions sometimes, it makes you shake your head, because it says here, not available for use outside of the United States. Okay, so I'm outside of the United States, and well, I don't know, maybe I got myself an illegal one, I'm not too sure. But okay, so the most important thing here that I thought is just crazy is this no oil change necessary idea. Now, a lot of manufacturers have gone that way. I think they're figuring, you know, the average person's only going to cut the grass maybe, I don't know, 20 times a year, and maybe a half an hour each time, and after their 2-year warranty is up, well, you know what? I don't know. Like, I mean, I think this is ludicrous. I'll be changing my oil with this. I'll be going by the old standards every 25 hours. So this idea of not changing the oil, I think, well, somebody's actually designed this engine to run so you only have to top it up all the time, not actually change it. And I'm saying, nah, I'm not going along with that. I want this thing to last me as long as my last one. I had an MTD brand, well, made by MTD, that was called Cub Cadet, and I cut over 100 acres with that in 10 years. Now, could you imagine the amount of time to cut 100 acres and you're never going to change your oil? I don't think so, because I change my oil every 25 hours on that mower, and man, was it black when I changed it. This one here, well, the only way that you're going to be able to change the oil is tip the machine upside down, or what I'll do is I'll use a vacuum pump and I'll suck it out of the crankcase. But that's pretty well it right there, and I really like the all-wheel drive feature. And you know, it comes with, you know, it's very well packed, I'll tell you that. Like, the shipping is just top notch. So here it comes to your warranty card to send in, and your Briggs & Stratton manual, and this is just your manual for the machine itself, how to operate it and everything. And of course it comes with some oil. So why did I buy this in December? Well, I'll tell you something. I found that the best deal you can possibly get is after the lawnmower cutting season, because a lot of times the retailers, well, there's a lot of inventory left over after one season, and they don't want to carry that inventory to the following spring to sell it. Plus, a lot of times there's newer models that do come out that compete with the model you just bought. So that'd be the first tip there, is buy your machine after the season's over, because I paid $200 less than I would have paid for this 6 months prior. That's number one. Number two, buy a machine that is mass produced by the millions. You know, whether you're buying a lawnmower or if you're buying an automobile, same thing applies. Buy one that is, you know, that is mass produced a lot. And that is probably one of the best tips you could get, because a lot of times if you're buying one of these one-offs, you know, a lot, and you'll see this a lot, you know, being promoted, is a great price on a machine that might only be made for like 2 years, right? So the third tip is, if you're just going to buy this machine until, like, there's a lot of people I know that do this. You buy the machine until it doesn't start or something breaks on it, you throw it out and you get another one. Well, I don't do that. So the third tip would be, if you want to buy a machine like I do and make it last to cut like over 100 acres of grass and not have no breakdowns, you know, just a little bit of, you know, cleaning the car maybe, or having to put, you know, belts on, general maintenance, that kind of thing. Well, if you buy a machine that's mass produced by the millions, you're also going to get millions of parts inventory out there. Because there's a lot of machines being sold today that are only made for a couple of years. You try to get parts for that 10 years from now, even 5 years from now. Try to get some parts. So, you know, the hard part about, you know, letting go with your cash is thinking about, well, is that cash just going one way right out the door, because you're not going to get too much of an investment in buying yourself a half decent mower if you can't get parts for it. And that's a huge problem today, is the parts. I wanted to get a Briggs & Stratton engine, I wanted to get a Kohler engine or a Honda engine or a brand name, something that there's going to be parts availability for, and something that they've mass produced. Because you get yourself tied into some of these, like really weird names of mowers, and you know, it's like they set up these companies to just take a whole bunch of parts out of the parts bins from around the world, throw a mower together and sell it to you for like 30% less than everything else. Well, yeah, it's really worth 30% less, to tell you the truth. So this is the first Toro that I've ever owned, and I've always bought MTD products. And like I said, the last one was the MTD Cub Cadet, and that mower was terrific. I really like that mower. It was built heavy duty and solid. I've looked this one over pretty good, and you know, like, I don't know what the new, you know, MTD products, whether they actually sell them and say don't change the oil either. I'm not too sure. I'm not up on all the different, you know, brands and everything, but I really wanted to get something that had all-wheel drive, because where I'm using it up my place up in Northern Ontario, I got hills like this up and down and everything else, and I did have a front-wheel drive lawnmower many years ago. They're great for like turning and that kind of thing, but they're completely useless if you put a bagger on the back, because it keeps on lifting the wheels up, right? And they're useless for climbing up hills. Forget it. It's just completely useless. Great for going down, no good for going up any hills. So I thought I'd try this all-wheel drive. And I will do a review on this in the future to see how it works out, because I'm not just going to be cutting my grass for a half an hour, right? So I really put these things to work, and we'll see how this thing turns out with their guaranteed to start for 3 years stuff, and how it works over time, because a lot of people can take a lawnmower out of a box, start it up and show you the features and say, okay, there you go. Well, no. I thought I'd make this video and explain to everybody, in my experience, buy a lawnmower in the fall. Buy one that's mass produced. Buy one that makes sure you're going to have parts availability in the future. And don't buy a power head or an engine that is like one of these engines you've never heard about before, and you know, they're not going to hear from you again in the future either, when they're not going to be around, or that kind of stuff. Because, you know, today in manufacturing, well, I like to buy North American myself. I live in North America. I want to buy in North America, and that's what I choose. Not everybody chooses that, but I do. So thanks for joining me here today. I hope you found something here informative, you know, and look forward to a future review, because next year I'm putting this thing through its paces. You guys come back again. If you haven't seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe and get some real honest reviews. Cheers.